Welcome to Healthier Daily. I'm Dr. Ben Carter. I want to start today by talking about a very specific, very lonely moment that millions of seniors know too well. It is 3:00 in the morning. The house is silent, but you are wide awake, sitting on the edge of your bed, gripping your calf muscle, gritting your teeth in absolute agony. It feels like a knot that just won't untie. It feels like your muscle is tearing itself apart. Or maybe for you, it's not the pain, it's the fear. It's that moment at the top of the stairs when you hesitate gripping the handrail because your legs feel empty, like they might just give way. For years, doctors have told you this is just normal aging. Drink some water, eat a banana. But I am here to tell you they are wrong. That cramp is not normal. That weakness is not inevitable. It is a signal. The medical establishment knows that 78% of seniors with these cramps are deficient in just one critical nutrient. But they don't tell you because there is no profit in a cure that costs pennies. Today we are going to expose the truth, but we are not just going to give you a list of vitamins. That doesn't work. To fix this, you have to understand what your legs actually are. To help us do that, Dr. Hinahara is here with a philosophy that explains exactly why your legs are failing.
Thank you, Dr. Ben. Yes, the problem is that we look at our legs and we see meat and bone, but that is not how they work. I ask my patients to think of their legs, their nerves, and their muscles as a home electrical grid. Your body runs on electricity. Every movement you make is a current traveling down a wire. So what is a cramp? A cramp is a short circuit. It is a power surge. The switch that turns the power off is broken. The electricity is stuck in the on position, screaming through the wire, locking the muscle tight. And what is weakness is a brownout. The power plant is working, but the wires, your nerves are frayed and broken. The signal cannot get from your brain to your feet. The lights flicker. The legs give way.
That is the perfect way to see it. A short-circuit cramps and a brownout weakness. So you cannot just exercise your way out of a brownout. You have to fix the grid. Today we are giving you the grid resurrection protocol. We are going to hire 3 engineers to fix your system. Engineer 1, the master breaker magnesium who stops the surge. Engineer 2, the electrician vitamin B12 who repairs the frayed wires. Engineer 3, the gatekeeper vitamin D who unlocks the power. And this is the most important part. We are going to show you how to combine each vitamin with a specific physical habit that activates it. Because a pill alone is not enough. You need to turn the power back on. Before we meet our first engineer, we want to know which problem is worse for you right now. Is it the short circuit, the cramps, or is it the brownout, the weakness? Please type power in the comments below if you are ready to fix your grid. And if you are ready to stop living in fear of the stairs or the middle of the night, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. Let's get started.
Welcome back. We are now standing at the main fuse box of your home. It is 3:00 a.m. The lights are flickering and sparks are flying. We have a power surge, a cramp. What do? You need to pull the main switch. You need to cut the power to stop the surge. But in your body, that switch is stuck in the on position. This is why magnesium is our first and most critical engineer. It is the master breaker.
That is the perfect electrical analogy. To understand why you cramp, you have to understand the relationship between calcium and magnesium. Calcium is the on switch. When it rushes into your muscle cells, it screams, contract, it turns the power on. Magnesium is the off switch. Its job is to push the calcium back out of the cell. It whispers, relax. It turns the power off. The opponent's video cited a staggering statistic: 78% of seniors with cramps are deficient in magnesium. That means 78% of you have a master breaker that is missing. The calcium gets trapped inside your muscle. The switch gets stuck on. The muscle locks up and it cannot let go. That is the pain you feel. The study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society proved that seniors who took magnesium, citrate or glycinate reduced their cramps by 86%. They didn't just treat the cramp, they fixed the switch.
But just taking the pill is not enough. You have to deliver the engineer to the site of the accident. You have to get the magnesium deep into the muscle tissue. This is where we integrate Habit 5 temperature therapy. The opponent's video mentioned this as a bonus. We say it is essential. Alternating warm and cool water on your legs is not just soothing, it is a vascular pump.
Exactly. Think of it as exercising your pipes. Warm water, 30 seconds. This opens, dilates your blood vessels. It allows the magnesium-rich blood to flood into the tight muscle. The engineer arrives, cool water. 10 seconds, this constricts the vessels. It squeezes the waste products like lactic acid out. When you do this in the shower before bed, warm, cool, warm. Cool, you are manually pumping the magnesium into the muscle fibers. You are physically helping the master breaker flip the switch to off before you even go to sleep.
So, Engineer 1 is hired. The surge is stopped. The muscle is relaxed. But what if the problem isn't a surge? What if the problem is that the lights are dimming? What if the wires are bare? Welcome back. We have fixed the power surge to cramp. The main switch is working again, but now we face a different problem. You try to turn on the lights, move your legs, but they are dim. They are flickering. Your legs feel heavy, weak, or, and this is very common, you feel a strange tingling or numbness in your toes. This is a brownout. The power plant is fine, but the wiring in your house is old and frayed. The electricity is leaking out before it reaches the bulb. We need to hire Engineer 2, the electrician.
That tingling sensation is the key. That is the sound of a dying nerve signal. And the electrician who fixes this is vitamin B12. This vitamin is the most under-respected nutrient for seniors. Here is the science. Every nerve in your leg is like a copper wire, and just like a wire in your wall, it needs insulation to keep the electricity moving straight and fast. In your body, this insulation is a fatty coating called myelin. Vitamin B12 is the only nutrient that builds and repairs this myelin sheath. When you run low on B12, and the Tufts University study showed that 40% of people over 60 are low, that insulation starts to crack. The wires get exposed. The signal leaks. Instead of a strong command to move your muscle, gets a weak, static-filled whisper. That is why you stumble. That is why you feel weak. The signal didn't make it.
This is the tragedy. You have the muscle, but you lost the connection. To fix this, you need foods like clams, beef liver, or wild salmon. Or because seniors struggle to absorb B12 from food due to low stomach acid, a high-quality methyl B12 supplement is often the new wire you need.
But buying the wire is not enough. You have to test the line. You have to send a signal down that wire to wake it up. This brings us to habit 4, barefoot time. The opponent's video called this a balance trick, but in our protocol, it is a circuit test. Think about it. You wear thick rubber-soled shoes all day. Your feet are blindfolded. The nerves in your feet stop talking to your brain because they have nothing to say. The connection goes dormant. When you take off your shoes and socks and you walk on a carpet or cool grass or sand, you are suddenly stimulating thousands of nerve endings. You are forcing your brain to send a ping down to your feet. What is that texture? Is it cold? Is it soft? You are flooding those newly insulated wires thanks to B12 with fresh data.
I tell my patients, take your shoes off for 10 minutes a day. Wiggle your toes on the rug. Feel the floor. You are recalibrating the electrical system. The vitamin B12 repairs the wire. The barefoot walking turns the current on. Together, they stop the brownout.
So we have stopped the surge cramps. We have fixed the brownout weakness. But there is one final problem. The power is on. The wires are good, but the door to the muscle cell is locked tight. The fuel cannot get in. We need the gatekeeper. We are halfway through our protocol. We love to hear from our community. Please tell us in the comments, do you ever feel that tingling or numbness in your feet? Or is it just weakness? Type wires if you know that feeling.
Welcome back. We are nearing the completion of our grid resurrection. We have fixed the short-circuit cramps with magnesium. We have repaired the frayed wires weakness, tingling, with vitamin B12. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. The power is flowing to the muscle, but the muscle is still refusing to turn on with full strength. Why? Because the door to the muscle cell is locked. The fuel calcium is knocking, but it cannot get in to create a strong contraction. We need our final expert. We need Engineer 3, the gatekeeper.
This is vitamin D. And this is where the science gets truly fascinating. For years you were told vitamin D was for strong bones. But we now know that every single muscle fiber in your legs has a vitamin D receptor on it. Think of these receptors as locks. Vitamin D is the key. When you turn that key, you allow calcium to move freely in and out of the cell. Without vitamin D, the door stays shut. The muscle cannot contract powerfully weakness, and it cannot relax fully cramps. It is the worst of both worlds. The opponent's video cited a University of Zurich study that was incredible. Seniors who took 2,000 IU of vitamin D daily didn't just get stronger bones. Their leg cramps dropped by 68%. Why? Because the gatekeeper was finally doing his job. The calcium crisis was solved.
So, you take your vitamin D ideally with a meal that has fat. The doors are open. But now, you must push the power in. You must teach those muscles how to hold a charge again. This brings us to the most powerful physical habit on the list, Habit 1, eccentric loading. The opponent's video called this a secret weapon, and they are right. Most people think exercise is about lifting things up. But for a senior, the magic is in lowering things down.
Exactly. When you lift a weight or stand up, you are using concentric strength. But when you lower a weight or sit down, you are using eccentric strength. Eccentric strength is unique. It recruits more muscle fibers, and it generates more force with less energy. It is the safest, fastest way to build strength after 60. Here is the protocol, the slow sit. Stand in front of your sturdy chair just like you are about to sit down for dinner. Do not just flop down. Control the descent. Count to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch the seat, then stand back up at normal speed. Do this 5 times every time you sit down to watch TV. You are using gravity as your gym. You are taking that vitamin D you ate, and you are forcing your body to use it to build new muscle fiber.
It is brilliant. The vitamin D unlocks the door. The slow sit pushes the strength through the door. You are not just taking pills. You are building a machine. Now the grid is fixed. The breaker is reset magnesium. The wires are insulated B12. The gates are open vitamin D. But a machine that runs perfectly still generates heat. If we run this new powerful grid without a cooling system, it will overheat and stall. We need one final step. Welcome back. We have rebuilt the entire electrical grid of your legs. We replaced the master breaker magnesium to stop the surges. We repaired the frayed wires vitamin B12 to fix the connection. And we unlocked the gates vitamin D to let the power in. The machine is ready to run. But, as any engineer knows, a high-power electrical grid generates heat. If we run this new system dry, it will overheat. The wires will melt. The system will crash again. We need a coolant system, and we need to know the peak operating hours.
That is the perfect way to frame these final 2 habits. Let's start with the coolant. This corresponds to habit 3, proper hydration timing. Now everyone knows they should drink water, but for your electrical grid, water is not just a drink, it is a conductor. Remember, your body runs on electricity electrolytes. Pure water conducts electricity. If your muscles are dry and muscles are 79% water, the electrical signal meets resistance. Resistance creates heat. Heat creates fatigue. A dry muscle cramps because the signal gets stuck. So the opponent's video had a brilliant specific tip here. It is not just about drinking more. It is about preloading the grid. You must drink a large glass of water, about 16 ounces 30 minutes before you plan to be active. Before you take your walk, before you do your garden work, before you do your slow sits. Why 30 minutes? Because that gives the water time to leave your stomach and enter your muscle tissue. You are filling the radiator before you turn on the car. This increases muscle power by 19%. That is free strength just from timing your water correctly.
So, the coolant is in. Now the final question, when do we run the machine? Do you try to run a heavy factory shift at 3:00 a.m. when the power plant is idling? No. You run it during peak hours.
This is habit 2, time-restricted movement. This is a fascinating new area of science called chronobiology. Your muscles have a clock. They are not awake 24 hours a day. Harvard research suggests that for seniors, the peak output window for leg muscles is often between 10:00 a.m. and 2:00 p.m. During this window, your body temperature is rising, better nerve conduction. Your cortisol is naturally higher, more alertness. Your coordination is at its peak. If you try to do your heavy exercise late at night or the very second you wake up cold, you are fighting your own biology. You are risking a brownout. The protocol: schedule your slow sits or your daily walk during this golden window if you can. You will get 2.5 times more benefit than if you did the exact same exercise in the evening.
It is about working with your grid, not against it. You hydrate before the load. You work during the peak hours. This protects the wires you just worked so hard to fix.
So let's look at the grid resurrection protocol we have built today. We started with a terrifying problem, the 3 or 0 a.m. cramp, the fear of the stairs, the feeling that your legs are shutting down. The opponent's video gave you a long list of foods and habits, but now you have a system. You understand why things were going wrong. It wasn't just age, it was an electrical failure. Your breaker was stuck, your wires were frayed, and your gates were locked.
Exactly. And you cannot fix an electrical failure just by trying harder. You have to hire the right engineers. Let's review your new maintenance staff engineer. 1. The Master Breaker Magnesium. You hire him to stop the surge, the cramp. You help him by using temperature therapy, the warm, cool shower, to pump the medicine in. Engineer 2. The Electrician Vitamin B12. You hire him to insulate the wires, stop the tingling. You help him by going barefoot to test the circuit. Engineer 3. The Gatekeeper. Vitamin D. You hire him to unlock the muscle doors. You help him by doing eccentric loading, the slow sit, to push the power in.
And you keep the whole system running cool with preload hydration and by working during peak hours 10 a.m. 2 p.m. Now I know this sounds like a lot, so let's make it simple. Here is your daily grid maintenance schedule. You don't have to change your whole life, just add these small moments. Morning, take your vitamin B12, then spend 10 minutes barefoot on the rug or grass while you drink your coffee. You are waking up the wires. Midday peak hours. This is your action window. Drink your large glass of water. The coolant. Wait 30 minutes. Then take your walk or do your slow sits in the chair. You are generating power. Evening, eat your dinner with vitamin D, fatty fish or eggs. Before bed, take your magnesium. Then do your temperature therapy in the shower. Warm, cool. You are flipping the breaker to off so you can sleep without cramps.
This is the path to freedom. When you fix the grid, the lights turn back on. The strength returns. The fear of the stairs disappears. But please start with one engineer. If your biggest pain is cramps, hire the magnesium engineer first. Focus on that for 1 week. If your biggest fear is weakness, hire the vitamin D and eccentric loading first.
That is the healthier daily way. Smart step-by-step progress. If this electrical grid metaphor finally helped you understand why your legs hurt and how to fix them, please do us a favor and hit that like button. It helps us reach more seniors who are suffering in silence. And please share this video. Leg cramps are not a small annoyance. They ruin sleep, and poor sleep ruins health. You could be giving a friend the owner's manual they desperately need to finally get a good night's rest. If you are not yet part of our community, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. We are building the ultimate library of senior health wisdom, one system at a time. And for our final engineer's question, which engineer does your grid need the most right now? Do you need the breaker magnesium for cramps, the electrician B12 for tingling, or the gatekeeper, vitamin D for strength? We would love to read your diagnosis in the comments below. And as always, a final critical reminder. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Persistent leg pain, numbness or weakness can be signs of peripheral artery disease, PAD neuropathy, or spinal issues. If you have kidney disease, you must speak to your doctor before taking magnesium or potassium supplements, as your body may not be able to filter them. Please work with your medical team to build a plan that is safe for you.
Thank you for joining us. Your legs are your connection to the world. Keep the grid running. Be a wise engineer. Be well.